Alright guys, welcome back to the WCA Open Qualifier for Europe. We just had Crane versus Hallmark, and Crane managed to take the win 3-1. A lot of new viewers, so I just want to go over some of the stuff we talked about earlier. This is actually an 8-man bracket played from 512 players.
Yeah, I mean, these guys have plowed through a massive online qualifier, and these are the 8 left, the top 8. And these guys are now in a single elimination bracket to continue, so to find out who will get as the overall winner, and the top 3 get the spots to China.
So 3 spots to China on the line. Stan Sifka, Kalento, and Life Coach are already qualified from the Pro Qualifier, which was a couple of months ago. But there's also $12,500 prize money on the line in this event. So $8,000 for the winner, $3,000 for second place, and $1,500 for third place. So a lot of money and a trip to China, well, to play for. It's like a lot of opportunities for these players.
Yeah, definitely. And just take a quick look at the bracket, actually. And so we have got Born2Win versus Millennium's Alex.
Yeah, so Born2Win is a player that I'm not familiar with. This bracket does have some kind of up-and-comers. Millennium is a team I know of, very big in France. You know, the French Hearthstone scene is a very internal. It's very much like some of the other scenes I've seen in other games with the French. You know, they like to keep like the eSports scene all together because of the language, I guess. You know, the French language, and it makes a lot of sense. And Maverick was a player who did pretty well at the BlizzCon qualifiers, and he, as far as I remember, was on Millennium. I'm not sure if he's still on there now because I think he retired. So Millennium, you know, a top French team.
Yeah, I'm excited to see these guys' decks, to be honest. I mean, we saw in the previous game Crane putting in Nurubar Weblord into his Druid. We saw a couple of other interesting picks like the Duplicate and the Arcane Blast in Tempo Mage. Not crazy picks, but not standard, I would say, either. So it'll be really good to see if these guys bring something a little bit new flavour. We just have come off the back of a pretty major nerf to Patron Warrior, which opens up a little bit, you know, what more decks you can play. We've seen Face Hunter become a bit more common on ladder because, again, you know, Patron Warrior isn't as common, so there's all the knock-on effects on the meta that I'm actually looking forward to seeing.
Well, Patron's still around. Crane proved that game one, taking a very convincing win with that Patron one without the war song. But enough about those guys. Born2Win and Alex are going into game number 1 here. Born2Win will be running with the Paladin, Warrior, Druid, and Alex will be running with the Druid, Hunter, and Paladin. So only the Hunter and the Warrior are different from these two guys. And we've just seen a Patron, so maybe we'll see another. Who knows? Maybe Control is pretty decent.
Yeah, this might not look like the correct decks, because this looks like a potential standard base Paladin deck.
No, I'm pretty sure Born2Win, he's born to win. He's not going to lose with a basic deck because it's in his blood, it's in his birthright. It looks like Born2Win has accidentally queued in one of the test decks going forward here, so they're going to have to restart their game, I'm pretty sure.
Born2Win has Paladin on his lineup, does he?
Born2Win does indeed have Paladin, but
okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have these cards, so
No.
yeah, let's yeah, we'll let those guys sort it out in a moment.
Maybe, obviously, we get these guys to go into a practice game to make sure all the spectator mode's set up. So obviously, maybe just a slight misunderstanding and locked in one of those good old basic decks.
You know, the spectator client can be a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
So
and there we go. As you probably just heard in the background, we're just going to have a slight regame. I think it's almost certainly still going to be Hunter versus Paladin because they're the classes that they picked. It's just he must have still had the previous screen up. It's an easy mistake. We've all done it. I've locked in some interesting decks in tournament matches before myself, and as soon as I saw the mulligan, instantly regretted it.
And if you consider what's on the line here, guys, a lot of money and a trip to China, all inclusive as well. A vacation playing Hearthstone for more money and hanging out with pro players from the EU scene as well. So these players are probably a little bit nervous. One thing that some people don't take into consideration, especially when playing in events like this, is the psychology of these players who haven't had the mountains of tournament experience like Kalento and Life Coach has had, where this may be their first ever big qualifier. And man, I remember my first big tournament. I was shaking. And I was on stage as well. It was scary, man.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about as well, because even online, like, even if these guys play weekly cups every single week, you get used to that, and you're just like, yeah, okay. But when the cup is suddenly to be like, yes, you're going to China to play for a hell of a lot of money, and you know it's a huge opportunity and changes everything for these guys. So every single match, I imagine for the less experienced players in the tournament format, really quite nervous, and I think being able to control that nerves is actually going to be heavily impacting the scores.
So it looks like the real Paladin is coming here. He wasn't allowed to use his basic deck to win the tournament with. He had to go for the real stuff. So it looks like he's going to be queuing in his secret mid-range Paladin. This is the Hunter. Oh, actually, wait. Yeah, the Hunter from Alex. And this Hunter has some surprises.
Yeah, what we saw from the Hunter, at least in the previous one, I'm pretty sure it'll be the same deck, was that it looked quite hybrid. It had leper cards like Leponome in there, which is normally more aggressive, but also including sort of between hyper, like face hunter and mid hunter, is that sort of, you know, extra damage, but there's normally high mains in there as well to push for more. But again, you see, yeah, from Born2Win, there's Sludge Belcher, which is an interesting pick, not too common in Secret Paladin. Normally like to be a little bit more offensive, but again, it leaves more tokens on the board to then benefit from buffs, like when all the secrets come in to interact with each other.
No, Secret Paladin's kind of gone through some adjustments, especially recently since the metagame had changed. It started off quite an aggressive deck, you know, favouring stuff like Divine Favors, Secret Keepers, even Argent Squires, but recently Zombie Chow's been squeezing in, Tyrion, Sludge Belchers. They've slowed down quite a lot. And I think it's because mid-range Paladin got a lot stronger once Patron got nerfed. So why not take a super strong deck like Secret Paladin and just splash some mid-range
yeah,
into
just push it out a little bit more.
Worlds, right?
And we see now that Born2Win has a pretty nice start. I would almost certainly expect a coin minibot. It doesn't look fantastic because you think, oh, you could just drop down Avenge, stay on curve. But you're against Hunter. And getting the minibot on the board changes this matchup. It's like playing similar to the way Zombie Chow works versus aggro decks. Getting it just on the board, it almost certainly trades 2 for 1.
I mean, minibot's probably one of the best 2-drops in the game, and one of the other best 2-drops in the game just hit the field as well. The Mad Scientist. Oh, and another one of the best 2-drops in the game.
This will never end.
Just found its way to his hand. So a very nice start here from Born2Win. Explosive Trap sitting in Alex's hand. I bet he wishes he found that with his Scientist now.
Yeah, this is really, it's really going Born2Win's way, because bouncing back, I imagine this bow's going to aim at the, well, it's a tough one. He has to kill the Juggler, but bouncing back the minibot, although it's going to be 4 mana, minibot even later on still pretty nice against Hunter. It's going to definitely slow him down and give him another charge at the bow though. And Alex has the Animal Companion next turn, slightly off curve, but still got it. And if that's something, I kind of like Misha or Huffer more. Nobody likes Leok unless you've got a full board, or has Unleash maybe. But this is pretty nice. The Avenge goes down. It's whether he chooses to attack or not.
Looks like he's gonna hold
I guess,
off.
yeah. I guess he wouldn't have attacked, because if he would have thought it was explosive. He would have attacked him with the minibot before he played the token. But now we are going to see explosive down.
It's interesting because Alex actually killed the Knife Juggler. So if it was explosive, surely you would have attacked face. So maybe Born2Win's thinking, is this guy playing mind games with me already?
Yeah.
Let's test it. Let's see what happens.
I think one of the problems as well is people play Bear Trap.
Oh,
then if you have Bear Trap and you don't have an answer to it, it's like, well, I don't really want to proc it then. I'd rather build up my board and deal with the Bear Trap on the turn you're actually going to sort of bring it out. But the card hammer is a huge card in this matchup. Being able to, one, get 3 charges of 2 attack, which deals with a lot of the Hunter minions, and also Divine Shield and one of your own minions to make it even more awkward, is pretty big. And we are going to see it go down. Ooh. But now, does he attack him with the 1/1, or surely you attack with the minibot first now?
Yeah, minibot's definitely going to be going first.
Because having the 1/1 soak up well, to be fair, the 1/1 will soak up the Explosive Trap and still stay on the board, right? So he's got to put the Explosive Trap first. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think I'd always try and run the minion in to try and bounce it if your opponent's not done the ordering right. Seems that Born2Win isn't quite tracking the play style of Alex in terms of the way he's dealing with traps. As you said, he killed the Juggler with a trap down, so that trap almost certainly isn't explosive.
Well, if we go by his line of play, he actually believed that was an Explosive Trap that came down first, and then he played the secret trap, the freezing trap, because he held off on his attack. So as far as Born2Win was concerned, Explosive was going to be the first one to proc. So he actually sort of did it in the right order in his mind. but he didn't get kind of the guessing game right.
Yeah. Even now we see the Belcher come down. Just to remind myself, Avenge is on the board. A key combo that Alex does have in hand is the Juggler Unleash. In this matchup, we've not seen Muster yet, which is crazy considering he's had it since the opening hand. No Muster on turn 3 or even turn 4 is very strange to see in this matchup, but the Juggler Unleash can almost win this game for the Hunter.
He probably is going to use the bow here, I imagine, on the charge and let the low fab hit him in the face, I imagine. Or do you just hold on to the bow? What would you prefer, Mr. Hunter Specialist?
It's a tough one. It depends what your strategy is and how fast you want to close the game out. If you just want to build board control like you're doing now, the bow's the right move because you just push damage. You're both on 21, except you've got 2 massive minions on the board. And the fact that he has Juggler Unleash means that he can ignore the Mysterious Challenger to a large extent, because he can unleash to attack for 1, which soaks up the 2-1. And then, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he just went face with it anyway.
Most antisocial man in Hearthstone, Mysterious Challenger. Doesn't want to know anyone, doesn't want anyone to know him. He's not a very friendly guy.
No. I'd be really surprised if we don't see an Unleash. Purely because you can bypass the 1-2, go face for 9, and then you know, like, you can ignore the one big minion on the board to a large extent, because it's still got to work through your taunt, and you're so far ahead on damage, the Paladin has to answer the board. But it's choosing not to, and the Mysterious Challenger does get the buff from the competitive spirit, but even now the board's so big and so awkward to clear with 2 creepers there that what's your follow-up? Like, do you almost feel you have to Lotheb yourself because there's so much damage on board, and he's going to bounce to 7-7?
I was just thinking about why he didn't attack then, and the obvious answer is Redemption. Redemption would have hit the Noble Sacrifice, and then Freezing Trap wouldn't be able to bounce the Mysterious Challenger. You just bounce the 2-1. So Hunter not go in face. Yeah. It looks a bit strange, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Dr. Boom on 7. Why not? It's glowing green. Just throw that guy down, get those boom bots on the field to cause some trouble.
Yeah, this is really scary now, because still Juggler Unleash is dangerous. He has 2 creepers that he can use almost instead of Unleash, because of board space more than anything. And he's just got a Leper Gnome to push for extra damage, as well as the much-loved Hunter hero power of just Smork 2 to face. This is kind of scary for both sides now. The game could really flip either way, but with the Freezing Trap down, I'd almost expect the creepers to go into the bombs at least.
The thing is, the Paladins can sometimes find it hard to close out a game. They need Blessing of Kings, they need that True Silver Champion to really get some burst. Hunter, on the other hand, has healer power, so if he puts enough pressure on Born2Win's life here, he may just put him in at a point where he just can't win. But let's see what he decides to do here. Where's this bomb going to go, I guess, which is the big question. Hits space for 2, which is brilliant. Doesn't kill any minions. And now you just say, come on, Mr. Paladin, can you finish me off before I finish you off?
Yeah, I kind of like the creeper trade into the 2-1.
Nice.
To see where the juggles go. You kind of hope a juggle hits the 1-1. He's just going to go face, though. Play the Leper Gnome. Yeah, he couldn't get the Leper Gnome down otherwise. Oh, and the juggle hit the bomb and took a 1 token. That's almost perfect. That's probably actually perfect for Alex. That's as good as it could have gone.
So Blessing of Kings here won't... Well, he'll have to bounce the 2-1, right? But he still can't punch through the Misha without using the 10-9 or the 7-7. If you had True Silver Champion,
this game would be over.
It'd be game over, but he doesn't have it. So now he has to find another way just to survive this turn, and this is what Hunter's really good at. Just turn on the heat at one moment where they just do tons of damage, and they basically throw the ball in your court and say, you have to be able to kill me this turn, or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, and then the problem is, have we seen kill commands or quick shots yet?
We've seen 1 kill command on a Belcher, but Unleash the Hounds is going to be enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's so many sort of easy spells for the Hunter to push 4 damage just from hero power plus, you know, whatever he can draw into. And we see, the second you see a Leper Gnome, you know there might well be a charge minion in there as well. So this is really tough. And he's got a Blessing of Kings, the 2-1 and attacking. That's interesting at best.
He knows it's a Freezing Trap, right?
Yeah, did he expect snakes? But has he attacked minions?
No, he hasn't.
No, maybe he thought it was snakes, but that was definitely scary, and that's going to be the game. There's not much he could have done. I couldn't really see a way out of there, but definitely an interesting one from Born2Win there.
Interesting decision with the Blessing of Kings, but maybe he just did it anyway because he felt like he was going to lose. I didn't really see a way out for him there. But yeah, you just kind of don't want to be doing that anyway. Even if you just do it for the fun. I mean, you want to stay in a competitive mindset, right?
And I think the turn from not attacking from Alex into the secrets was really big there because he let himself build up a bigger board while the Paladin didn't really gain from the lack of damage. The secrets weren't procced in multiple orders, so there's only the one the Mysterious Challenger that got the extra +1/+1. So that was really quite a good play from Alex there.
So game number 1 goes to Alex. Going to game number 2 now. Druid Mirror. This is a fun matchup we see a lot, but what makes it most interesting is the types of Druid coming from these two players. We have a mid-range Druid coming from Alex, and we have that aggressive Druid coming from Born2Win, which we saw Crane pilot in the same mirror match to actually finish off his series. So again, we're going to see this matchup and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the hands, Alex has coin, which is always nice to sort of more to negate your opponent's coin than anything else, because Druid does struggle dealing with multiple minions at the same time on the board. He does have wild growth, not much else. He can coin growth if he needs to, but we're probably going to see hero power going down. The Wrath's okay, but I think in this matchup, a lot of people go Wrath for 1 cycle. I think it's more important to save your Wrath when you need 3 damage to remove a minion, because that's so much harder for the Druid to do.
That 3 damage is super important, especially against the Druid, because of this card right here. This card can really help you. Well, it helps you ramp, right? And if you can speed up the progression of an aggro deck through ramping, it's really scary, and holding on to a Wrath in your mulligan again in the Druid Mirror might not actually be a bad idea, because if you can Wrath that Aspirant, you're slowing them down. It might give you an opportunity to ramp as well. Amazing pickup there.
Yeah, I mean, Born2Win was having some problems actually there. He could have spawned 2/1/1s with the Living Roots and then hero power face, but that's not a lot of board presence at all, and not too aggressive, because already your opponent can just hero power 1 down straight away, whereas his other cards are just 2 Force of Natures. There's actually some aggro lists that only run 1, because again, it's second you draw 2, it's very clunky, and sometimes you don't really want to just use a Force of Nature to trade or 6 to face for 6 mana. But we do see now the Living Roots after the ramp from Alex to open up some more options of now he can double Chain Druid of the Claw, which is pretty nice. We'll probably see in Taunt. The swipe pickup actually helps Born2Win quite a lot here, as he doesn't really have anything else. He doesn't really want to reveal that shade either. Ooh, do you like the... No, I think you still swipe, don't you?
I think Innovate might find a little bit more value later, but like you said, Force of Nature is a clunky card. You keep your 1/1s. Actually, yeah, I don't see any.
I think it's okay. Because the problem is, if not, he only has Shade on the board. I think that's the worry. If he could have held on to any more minions whilst using Swipe, it would have been better. But to end up only with a Shade, that's pretty rough. And you can see that Alex actually has 2 Keepers of the Grove as well. So the second that Shade sort of pops his head out of the shadows, he's going to get silenced back down to a 2/2.
And I like him keeping the Shade here. Might be tempting to push some more damage on, but plays around Swipe very nicely. Shredder into hero power into a 1/1, which is fine. He's on 25 health, so the aggressive Druid from Born2Win has had quite a slow start.
Yeah.
Alex has had answers, which is what he needed.
Yeah, and he's actually got really strong next turn as well. He can Druid of the Claw, Innovate Keeper of the Grove, which is huge. Like, if you're ever going to deal with some minions or solidify your board, that's pretty nice to get the 4/6 down if Taunt, and the 2/4, as well as the 2/4 potentially either killing a minion or silencing 1 off. Yeah, just because he swiped to Shredder, which not fantastic. It was a 1 health minion though. The cycle for Alex isn't terrible, but being able to you Shredder minion just getting picked off with a hero power is kind of unfortunate. But again, look at Born2Win's hand, Force of Nature and Living Roots. It's not what he wants to see. And there's an Ancient of War.
So this is a big one, the big 5/10 who's going to say to Born2Win, you better have some more stuff to deal with this. And, well...
He actually can kill it.
He can kill it, but...
He doesn't even need the Force of Nature, but he has to sacrifice the Shade.
Well,
right?
the Shade will stick around on 1 health, but that's not very promising, right?
Yeah, okay, he has to sort of offer the Shade up to Alex there to just finish off.
And if you look at the hand difference here, okay. Alex has a lot of resources and a lot of options, whereas Born2Win's just sitting on that Force of Nature, which he'll need for his combo, probably to find the win. So this Ancient of War was a great pickup for Alex, stalling Born2Win and maybe giving him enough time to get some momentum.
Yeah, what do you think about the play Born2Win made then, actually? Because he didn't even try and take down the 5-10. He actually could have. But now, imagine Swipe comes down, and yes, the Shade's still hidden, but is the aggro druid going to wait till the Shade's got like 10 attack and just kill it then and do nothing for multiple turns? Because now we can see, look, oh, Alex is actually going aggressive. He's like, you can't answer this, and I'm going to hit you for 10 this turn, and next turn I've got double Keeper of the Grove. He has his own Force of Nature. He can just combo that'll actually win him the game if Born2Win does not answer this board, at least partially.
Ooh, Savage Roar is definitely going to be something that can help do it.
The issue now is if he Savage Roars to clear the board, how does Born2Win win this match? You can see Alex has got a lot of good cards still. Keeper of the Groves are actually pretty good versus aggro because of the 2-4 stat distribution and the potential 2 damage to just kill off a small minion. And this is really tricky. Born2Win will be sat now counting. If he stalls for one more turn, will Force of Nature Savage Roar be enough to push through the taunt and kill his opponent? And at 22 health, and when you can imagine Alex is now going to probably make sure he either kills his opponent next turn or hero powers every turn. So this is really rough for Born2Win, and we might see another match slip out of his grasp.
I think Savage Roar, you kind of need to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
Savage Roar is the way to do it. He's got another one in his deck, so you would have an opportunity to redraw that. But like you said, Alex kind of has everything he needs. Big Game Hunter as well, so even if a big power play like Dr. Boom was to come off the top for Born2Win next turn.
He's choosing to tank to face? I'm really surprised if he uses his face here. He needs to use the minions.
Oh,
Does he attack with a Shade? Oh, wow. He is 100% relying on drawing Savage Roar next turn. Wow. That's pretty ballsy from Born2Win, to be fair. It was his only way he was going to win there. But this is definitely going to be rough. Alex has so many options, and especially when he can hero power next turn to just buff his health a little bit more, and he knows Born2Win's on one card, so he does not have the combo. Alex knows he doesn't have the combo at all. So as long as he just plays sensibly, I wouldn't even mind just playing Shade and maybe a Keeper of the Grove. Hold on to the BGH, of course, just in case the Shade comes out and you don't win the following turn. But this is definitely pretty nice. There's no rush at this point, because unless your opponent top decks Savage Roar, like, you're not going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, if he top deck Swipe and he didn't put a hero power down, he would have had enough there, I think. But yeah, it's not. Well, no, he wouldn't be able to. He needs 10 mana. So even Swipe isn't an answer here. Like you said, he just needs to play patient, Alex, and this is what he's done. He can set up lethal for next turn now. Might force the Shade to come out of hiding and trade. So after all that, sitting in the shadows, building up, waiting for its moment to shine, he ends up trading with a cat.
Yeah, and this is definitely a shaky position for Born2Win. I'm not sure he can get through it, because especially when Alex can combo next turn, as well as innovate out hero power, say, just for the extra +1. There's so much damage on a board that he already has 3 minions and Shade. So Alex's own Shade, although a little bit smaller than Born2Win's, is extra damage that he can't clear. So, and now the aggro druid is going on the defensive, trading with the cat, like you said. But that, I'm pretty sure, won't be enough.
So we can clear the Druid of the Claw with hero power and 4 damage. And he has Innovate double Savage Roar. So we actually have 22 damage from hand without the minions on board. So this is going to be enough.
I'm kind of surprised Alex is stalling this long in playing the cards. Important match, of course. But a little bit interested with Force of Nature, Innovate, Savage Roar.
Yeah, just do the math.
Yeah, may as well be safe, right?
I
would have got too excited and just slammed everything down and be like, oh, I'll work out the numbers later.
You have 18 health, I have 22 damage from hand, you're just gonna die. Yeah. So, game number 2 going to Alex, quite convincing yet again. Born2Win, not really having what it takes to be able to close out the game. He's been close. He was sort of close, I suppose, until Alex stabilized with that Ancient of War. But yeah, Born2Win, he's been struggling a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely a rough one. But Alex has been playing really solid. Like, you understand why, he's on Millennium, he's, probably got some pretty good practice partners, very solid and very happy with his lineup. I think Born2Win suffered a little bit from the thing a lot of aggressive decks suffer from. If you don't get a strong start and your opponent does, or even just has a couple of early answers, like we saw the Wrath, it's definitely a bit rough.
running out of steam. That is a problem for aggro decks. But, you know, aggro decks are for players who like the adrenaline, right? The rush.
All or nothing, why
the
not?
all or nothing. And, you know, it's a play style that I appreciate. It looks like Born2Win is going to take the Paladin back again here and go into a Paladin mirror. So let's have a look at these decks a little bit. So we have the Belcher Paladin, which we saw from Born2Win before, and Millennium. Alex has kind of a slower variant, I'd say. He's actually running the Secret Keepers as well. No, faster variant, sorry. We have Secret Keepers, sorry, my bad.
But he hasn't drawn anything. We see the Abusive Sergeant there. We do see the Secrets. And Born2Win's drop down. Which Secret did Born2Win play? A Noble Sacrifice, which is going to clear up this Abusive Sergeant. But dropping Abusive Sergeant on turn 1 is never fun, but if you've got a 1-drop, it's better than nothing. But also, it pretty quickly signifies to Born2Win that, you know, this is a very, you know, very much aggressive style of Paladin, as you said. And this, does the juggle hit the 2-1? This is actually pretty big. If the juggle hits the 2-1, the 2-1 survives.
So now you need to weigh up, is any value playing shield and mini-bot? Alex thinks no. I'm not really concerned.
Oh, okay. At least Born2Win, sorry, Alex killed the minion. Because if he didn't, he's suddenly a little bit behind on board, which is scary. But the mini-bot's definitely going to do some work. The juggle's going to go Born2Win's win?
As long as one hits,
Born2Win's way, sorry? Wrong way around.
Yeah, as long as one hits, it's fine. You'd be able to clear up the mini-bot very easily. Got a very strong board here. Consecrate. It's one of the only ways that you can answer this. Maybe Coin. Yep, Coin Shredder's going to have to come down here. And now Born2Win can still utilize this knife juggler with the mini-bot and the hero power if he wants to. And things are finally looking to Born2Win's favour. Oh, Competitive Spirit. I like this card, especially combined with the board you've seen so far. You've seen a Coin come down from Alex. No Consecrate. You get that Competitive Spirit down.
Yeah, I think you pretty much just play out your hand here as much as you can. Throw everything down, and you know that something's probably gonna stick around till next turn. It's how aggressive you want to go onto the Shredder. I kind of like just throw everything and go face. Just go pretty, go all in and hope for not the Consecrate there.
Ah, no Competitive Spirit. I guess he's still playing around Consecrate, which is fine. If he doesn't see it next turn, at least we could see a Competitive Spirit then. But, he's not playing the aggressive Paladin. Alex is kind of like the old switcheroo right now in play styles. So, I kind of would have liked going a bit more YOLO there. But it doesn't play to the style of Born2Win.
Yeah, the only worry is because he has to put so many minions and he throws the juggler away. Oh, wow. That was in time, that. Good work.
Damn.
That's pretty unfortunate. Especially the mini-bot was down as well.
So, Alex was really behind. And then Doomsayer popped up, then he wasn't.
And now we can see that Alex does have 2 Mysterious Challenger in hand. He's played a couple of Secrets, I think, so far. But, being able to just have it ready to play can just win you the game. And we see Born2Win doesn't have that. He has 3 Secrets and a token. This is pretty scary. This is definitely pretty scary for Born2Win. I mean, the Doomsayer, it's not what he wanted to see. He's currently 2-0 down, and you do not want to see Doomsayers like that.
And that's a great draw here, simply because it hits Repentance, and then the hero power has an opportunity then to clear the 1-1 regaining board. It does get cleaned up by the Lights Justice, but why are you concerned? You have Challenger Tyrion coming up.
If there's ever a way for Born2Win to sort of recover a little bit from this, bit of a rough moment with that Doomsayer, drawing Challenger on turn 6 is normally pretty reasonable.
Although, Challenger's going to come down.
Let's see what Secrets are left. Noble Sack is left, which is really important to soak up the 4-3 attack, and Redemption. So, not terrible, and he already has the Avenge on board, so not the worst 3 Secrets he could have. They all interact with each other, but then Alex just drops down a full Christmas tree and says, let's go.
Shredder was a nice pick up there for Born2Win because it'll eat the Repentance, and then his Tyrion won't get hit by Repentance. If he had whiffed on the draw there, just like, I don't know, another Secret, kind of spell, this Tyrion would be very hard to play on turn 8. So it looks like Born2Win's going to be initiating the Secret War first. Is he going to trade here? No, he looks like he's going to go on the aggressive here.
Yeah, I think at this point with a 7-5 on the board as well, it's going to be really rough to try and deal with the whole board. If you kill the 7-5, there's still a 6-6 up. If you know, I think he has to just go all in. He's playing one more secret. He still has the secret interactions on his side, so you know that can still go his way. You can squeeze a token in there, and as you said, throw down Tyrion next turn and hope it's enough. But we do see Alex also has his own Tyrion and the Blessing of Kings. These minions are going to start getting a little bit scary.
So the 3-2 is probably going to eat up the get down, and then all the nonsense will happen on the Born2Win side. The secrets will proc. Blessing of Kings can hit one of these minions, so he can do 19.
Alex is going to have to trade.
Yeah.
There's a lot of damage on that board. And that Shredder makes it very awkward. With the Noble Sacrifice, almost certainly soaking up the 3-2. Maybe do you Blessing of Kings the 3-2 to stop it dying at least? I don't know. It's a rough one. You just choose to attack in, and you know that the sort of two guys are going to just butt heads and then disappear from the board. The Avenge is going to make this even more dangerous, and it goes on the best target as well, spreading that damage across multiple minions. The 2-1's back with Redemption, and this is looking quite rough actually for Alex.
Alex does have another challenger of his own though, so he does have some defense coming down. Another Noble Sacrifice will come down with another Redemption, with another Revenge. So he does get the opportunity to build a board here if...
2 secrets, which are Redemption and Noble Sacrifice. So pretty important actually to win a sort of board control war there. The Noble Sacrifice is really important, and Juggler's not really going to help. Does he run his Shredder in first, just in case? If he fears another Doomsayer, maybe Tyrion's not the best option. I'd definitely be a little bit wary myself after that horrendous Doomsayer from Born2Win before.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting what he actually decides to use here. Definitely his faith is going to be put in the light with Tyrion. But, yeah, Shredder's going to go first. Let's see if Doomsayer wants to show back up and ruin his day. Alright, here it comes. Doomsayer? Oh,
okay.
Flame tongue, interesting.
Does that change anything though? Because the big minions are all on quite low health. It probably didn't matter too much. Tyrion is almost a certainty here.
I mean, you might just want to go face. I mean, how do you win if you don't go face here? You need to... You run out of resources. He still has 3 cards. He has a big board. It's very tough. Tyrion's definitely going to slow things down. So you can trade the 1-2 or the 2-1 into the Divine Shield, run an 8-2 into it then. He can Blessing of Kings, one of his smaller minions. He can trade up and then just have the board, and from then on, Born2Win's run out of steam. It's very hard for a Paladin to be able to do that much damage, even 7 damage, without having anything on the board. Because Blessing of Kings and True Silver, their main forms of Burst, Consecrate.
Yeah, sort of. It's kind of funny as well, looking at Alex's hand. He has the card that Born2Win really wants right now in that Divine Favour. He probably really wishes he could just swap his card for that and then draw into a bit of a bigger hand.
Although, of course, Ashbringer is something to consider. Finding that extra damage might be easier. Kind of disregarded Ashbringer. Who needs Ashbringer? Oh, well,
he does have Tyrion. Yeah, he does have Tyrion. So Tyrion's the line of defense, and not a lot of these decks run, say, Owl, and Zombie Chow is definitely not the card you want to see at this point in the game.
Oh,
and
wow.
there we go. Wow.
So Zombie Chow, one of the worst top decks you can potentially have in Hearthstone, pretty much at this point in the game, going into the late game. Alex just does a clean sweep there, a 3-0 on Born2Win, and Born2Win's tournament journey is over.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, the sets, there were a few, I would say, questionable decisions from Born2Win overall, but Alex just played really solid. Yeah, I mean, you can't say much more than that, can you? It was really solid play. That last game was really weird. When you see like double secret Paladin, you're like, oh god, when does someone attack? I'm not sure. But you know, the guys played it really well. Both having Tyrion sort of would have sealed the deal either way. If one of them had it and one of them didn't, that game was over. But because, you know, Alex managed to keep the board quite well, and he got at the point in the game where all the minions are buffed up, so they even taking big hits, they were still on 2-3 health, awkward to get rid of. It was a crazy game, but you know, like I said, Alex finished up 3-0. I
mean, even if Alex didn't have Tyrion, it was still really hard for Born2Win to win even.
Yeah.
Born2Win to win, and
yeah, he would have had to have pulled 2 damage from somewhere, because he had the 5, and I think Alex was on 7 at the time.
With at least 3 minions down as well, Knife Juggler, Zombie Chow, Hero Power, that was 2 potential damage to win, but a lot of RNG to decide that game. So Alex, 3-0 clean sweep, must be very happy. Going to go into day number 2 tomorrow into the semi-final. So he will be playing against Crane. And that's going to be a
hell of a match. Yeah.
Really good match. So if you want to find out more information about WCA, be sure to hit up the website. Also hashtag WCA Europe. If you've got anything to say on Twitter to us or to the organizer or anything about the event, be sure to drop us a message. So we're going to go for a quick break, bring you another game, which will be Fallen Remote versus Camland. So we'll have that coming up very shortly. So don't go anywhere. We got some more Hearthstone for you.